people with disabilities can feel sexy in their bodies, and we do. It's just so important for people with disabilities to be represented in this movement, and I feel like they really aren't. All right, can you help me do my hair a little bit? Make it beautiful?
Sure. Because you know how
I
good I
beautiful.
am at that. This is called the sex kitten look.
I'm kind of digging it though, to be honest. Wow, why don't you always do this?
I'm really surprised because you usually don't like anything I do with your hair. Wheelchair Rapunzel is a little edgy. So
How edgy am I? Gosh. So there's different types of SMA. I have type 2. It's just a genetic disease that I was born with, and it just affects all my muscles. I was always in a wheelchair. I was never able to walk.
I thought maybe she just had maybe a dislocated hip or some orthopedic problem. The doctors kept telling me, she's just, a little delayed in walking, no problem, it'll all come together. Until finally, doctor diagnosed her with spinal muscular atrophy. We were shocked, we didn't know what it meant. He went on to say what they meant and gave her so many years to live. SMA is a very serious disease. She did very well and continued to thrive without much complication. Yeah.
And then...
And I got your corn tortillas.
Okay,
so.
nice. I used to be very, very, very thin. I almost needed a feeding tube because with my disease, you lose the ability to swallow. So I kind of was losing that ability as a teen, and I was not able to eat food.
SMA affects the muscles that control head and neck control, as well as swallowing, breathing, things like that. Anything that's really a muscle. And the amount of muscles in your throat and your tongue that push food down that we take for granted is really affected by SMA.
Yeah.
But you somehow learned a way around it.
My trick is adding tons of sauce to everything. But you could hand me, I could stir it a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? Here, let me turn it down.
An SMA stir.
Yeah, do your famous SMA. Oh wait, you need the wooden spoon for that.
Oh, my wooden spoon.
Your favorite wooden spoon.
All right, let's do this. Oh yeah.
You got it, girl.
We're making big moves over here.
Yeah, we are.
We're making some moves.
I sense an incident, but that's okay.
Now, thanks to Spinraza, the new drug for SMA, hopefully my quality of life will remain how it is. Doctors can't really say it's gonna make you better, but they do say, if anything, it'll stop the progression of the disease. For me, I've felt a lot of improvements. Changes with my arm strength has improved, which for someone with SMA, it's huge. I can pretty much do all my makeup by myself, but sometimes I do have someone help me with my foundation because it does get pretty tiring with my little disabled hand to do my entire face. I haven't always been super confident about my body. I have scoliosis, so my body is twisted and my ribs protrude, and I have a different body than most people. There's this body positive movement happening today, and it's just so important for people with disabilities to be represented in this movement, and I feel like they really aren't. So I started Instagramming kind of more formally about a year ago. I just love having the ability to advocate for everyone on a large scale like Instagram. You want to help me swipe through some things over here?
Sure.
Okay, so
How about your going out stuff?
yeah, I post pictures of me kind of, more risque. People with disabilities can feel sexy in their bodies, and we do. So recently I posted a picture of myself in a thong, kind of exemplifying that people with disabilities have booties that we want to show off. It got, a lot of attention, and most of it was positive. It paid off, so that's good. I'm not a designer by any means, so I kind of had to learn everything myself. But it's mainly all me with the help of some of my friends. I sell merchandise that is aimed to make people feel positive about their bodies and just their self. So I sell t-shirts and hoodies and bracelets and all sorts of really cool things. Hi! Hey, babe.
I miss you.
I like to dance. I'm gonna be moving my wheelchair around.
She likes to kind of toss in people's faces like, hey, I'm edgy and
Totally.
I'm just like everyone else.
I'm just like everyone else, and I think that's really how she handles it. And once you get to know her, you forget that she is in a wheelchair too.
Yeah, I know. I never even think about that.
I have to go.
No.
Go to work soon.
Love you.
All right, bye. Enjoy your pizza.
Have a fun night at work.
I will.
Every day, Alex makes me proud. Watching her happiness as those orders roll in, watching her face light up when her followers have something beautiful to say to her. All of those things are the joy of my life.
Are you ready to go get some drinks?
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Be back soon.
All right.
Love you.
Love you. Love you, girls.
Let's ride. A huge misconception about disability. Oh my gosh, where do I begin? That people with disabilities don't feel sexy or have romantic relationships. Even though I haven't really ever been in a serious one, I make out with guys in clubs regularly.
Excuse us.
Thank you, gentlemen. I never really thought about my disability that much. I just always kind of knew I had this thing, and if, Paige, my friend, has to drag me by my ankles to get from A to B, then that's what we gotta do.